from growing up from a young boy with hydrocephalus into now, have you noticed any different in what your day-to-day life is like?
Yes, I would say that I have, but it's mostly been around my fatigue. Um, and I think probably, a lot of adults would say that, they wish that they had the same energy as the kids running around in the backyard, and maybe it's related a little bit to that too. Um, but I would say that I haven't had as many medical, surgeries and things like that as I did have as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of, I guess from about 18 or 19, I've probably stopped having so many challenges like that. And I think everything else has progressed as per normal, apart from the fact that, I've had to use a wheelchair to get around. But other than that, I've studied and I've worked and I enjoy, the usual things like going outdoors and hanging with friends and things like that.
So this is a question to both of you now. So what mechanisms have you put in place to manage your hydrocephalus?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Yeah. So what mechanisms have you put in place now as an adult that was different to when you were younger, so you're able to manage your hydrocephalus?
As I'm now living independently and I'm not near my family, I have been able to find support workers to help me with some tasks of everyday life, so getting food ready or transport, and even times just to have some company so that if I'm not feeling well, there's someone there if I need to go to the hospital or anything like that. It's also really, really important to have like a great healthcare team around you. I have a neurosurgeon that I can trust. I have a GP, and ophthalmology, allied health services provided by SBH. If finding what you need is really important, then nobody can tell you what you need. It's also really important that there's like communication with the entire health team that you have involved in your care. And that friends and family are really supportive, whether they're physically close to you or if they're distanced, as mine are. It's really important to have their support and that they can join you on this journey without putting high expectations on you, because they don't know how you're living. They don't know what it feels like to live with hydrocephalus.
Okay, thanks for that. Brendan, same with you. What mechanisms have you put in place now that you're older? And I think you're living pretty independently at the moment as well?
Yeah, I live fairly independently. I still do live at home, but I've got my own attached, I guess you call it apartment thing. And I'm able to get myself out and drive to see family and friends down in Brisbane. So I actually live in a regional area on the Sunshine Coast. And I guess other supports I put in place would be making contact with the social work team with SBH Queensland and the occupational therapist from time to time for scripting of wheelchairs and other mobility equipment to do with my wheelchair and recreation as well. And I've also accessed support work to help me, just for company reasons, going out in the community, or also just with home maintenance, things like that. And I guess the other supports would be having a GP and a neurosurgeon who knows my case very well and understands, I guess principally at least from the GP perspective about hydrocephalus and what areas of the brain it can affect and look and what that what that might cause. And they can be on top of it as well as I can as well, to know what the warning signs might be in case I need to go in for a revision or something.
Thank you for that. Okay, so next question is, what what does it look like living with a mostly hidden disability?
In my experience, I've found that it's hard for the general public, for healthcare professionals, for your friends, and even for your family to understand or imagine the struggles that you can be experiencing, because they're not physically aware of them. So I have also struggled with the burden of expectations from others, because I might have been able to cope with that as a younger person, but things have become different as hydrocephalus has caused more of a disability as I've been older. So everyone's experience is different. And I think it can be hard trying to explain to other people that disabilities do come in many forms. And so it's just important to understand where your struggles are and to try and have the courage to share them with others, and ask for help when you need to. It's not always recognised by the community as hydrocephalus being a disability, or that hydrocephalus even exists. A lot of people don't know about it. And so it can also be hard to access the help that is needed sometimes.
Brendan, the same question for you. What's it like living with a mostly invisible disability?
I think I share a little bit of what Rebecca was saying in terms of managing expectations, and a part of that is my own expectations as well. Expecting that I can do, things when I should really, realise that, or remember that I've got hydrocephalus, and that does affect me on certain days in various different ways. It's hard to, because you're living with it on a daily basis, and it's nothing new, so you don't dwell on it. So you forget to sort of communicate that when you're meeting with new people. And that might be, that could be a medical professional, or it could be an employer. And it's presented challenges in the past in employment, because I haven't mentioned that I've got hydrocephalus, and some days you're affected by it, and that affects things like memory, organisation, motivation, lots of other things. But I think on the whole, it's been good as an invisible disability. But part of my disability of having hydrocephalus is that I also have spina bifida, so I actually use a wheelchair. So from that point of view, it's not very invisible. But I do. I think it's just remembering, to not be so hard on ourselves, and also to remember to, tell people, if you need to, like an employer or a doctor or whatever, because they don't know these things unless you say something.